Alright, so welcome to the one thing that I was not looking forward to. This is the Master Thief Sprint, something that's exclusive to the first game and the first game only. Only 18 out of the 20 plus levels within the game are capable of earning these hourglasses. For your reward for getting those hourglasses is level commentary, which I've never gone back to get. Maybe I'll try to find a playlist of it later. I don't know. I'll have to check. But the one thing is for sure is that you also get a little bit of something for basically getting every last one of them, as well as something for not only getting all the Master Thief Sprint and 100%ing the first game, but also the other games on the PS3 collection, which I need to get back to. I haven't played Slide 2 in months, and that is a significantly larger game. Simply put, I have not been able to edit this project for months due to life happenings and other things that have prevented me from making videos for a while. And it just felt like life was getting in the way, and quite literally, it's why Year 7 is a bit turbulent. I should hopefully have things sorted out by my move, because I'm going to be trying to fix things with the computer to make it so that I can record with OBS without causing a crash. And I'm going to be testing a lot of things. Hey, there's going to be an update about it later. I should hope that using a program that Elgato made should not be too much of an issue on the computer. It's just got a delay, and I consider using that before it comes to wear and just figuring out the sync later. But I will say this about the Master Thief sprints and such: these tested my patience. I'm never a fan of time trials being required for trophies for 100% or something like that. If the trial in question is probably the most unfun thing to go through. Some levels I don't see them being fun to sprint. And sometimes unless it's your passion, sometimes speedrunning can really take your passion out of the game. Ever wonder why I've never sped run Sonic Mania? It's because I just couldn't grasp the level design in the speedrunning sense. I played it too much like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, where it's the kind of game where I just want to take my time with. But we're not talking about blue hedgehogs here, we're talking about raccoons dressed in blue. And unfortunately, I'm going to say this right now, no, the speed up skill that Sly gets, and yes, you saw me getting burned there. I got a little bit worried there that I might have messed up the run and that I had to start all over again. The speed up feature, guess what? It speeds up enemies and the time too, meaning that you're not using the fast feature to basically get a time advantage. No siree. There's no way you could. Much as I wish you could get a major time boost from just holding the run button. And you are going to cut these close. Very close, a lot. These levels tested my patience. Like this one right here. You remember that little shortcut I did to earn the trophy of doing this level barrel-less? Actually no. That's the next level. But I want you to see one of the things you have to do. Look at that. You have to vault over this thing twice. And that is not an easy vault to make. And if you should, say, get caught in one of those lasers, or get caught in the spotlights, your timer decides to speed the heck up. And you will always wonder why. Why does the time run out far so soon before I can even reach the goal? You're going to be doing a lot of trying to find shortcuts and best routes, and I do recommend you watch videos for those just to save yourself some headache. It's what made the latter parts of this particular project a little less arduous. And believe me, some of the trophies are actually shortcuts for this, and you're gonna want to learn them, because if you learn them, you are going to get through this with time to spare. And this shortcut right here, you'll get a lot of time, but man, are you going to struggle to get Sly on that perch, because at the very least, once you're up there, you should still have enough time to suffice to get past it without needing to do some hook swinging here and there. And boy, did some of them really anger me. I will tell you about the ones that will anger me in a bit. So, like, I don't know all the best speedrunning techniques for this. Like, I know even less than Crash Bandicoot Warped, and that's not the only game I'm going to be needing to go for time attack relics or something like that for, because I still got the rest of the series to go. I just want to find a way to play the GBA games on a screen with a controller rather than play with the SP, because I just need a controller to play. I just need a controller to play Crash Bandicoot, and I don't exactly see the Crash titles heading to NSO for Game Boy Advance anytime soon, much as I want it to. And before you ask, yes, I know about Spyro Beyond Realms, because that should tell you the dissonance, or the months long difference between when I recorded this part of the Let's Play and when I recorded the Let's Play back then. Remember, most of 99% of this Let's Play was recorded back in September. That should tell you a lot of things that are now a bit dated and such. And I wanted to get to this before I got the new computer, but I was just set back on a lot of things here and there. Like level designing, I was I was getting to the point where I was actually getting comfortable with making levels again, until I hit a roadblock that was so bad that it deterred me for months. And let's just talk about another thing that I'll be talking about in a later video. It will be the move. I've been trying to make a mad dash to get this done, and that is because I am moving into a much larger place. In fact, some of the videos that you will end up seeing, and some of them are very late, mind you, like some of them were meant to be recorded much earlier, but I never found the time to edit for myself. Yeah, that jump is a pain to make right there. Like when you're trying to make sure you don't use any sort of rewind or anything, boy, that jump just sucks. But I believe that's it for Rally's turf. Now it's time to go down to Mesa City, Utah again, where we must go as fast as possible across the desert. I'm going to spoil things for you right now. There is no salt flats. There is no Utah Lake or Bear Lake. There is no anything that will make Utah recognizable to you. You might as well tell someone that you're in Nevada, and they'd believe it. Then again, I've never been to Nevada personally, so I wouldn't know. These levels, however, I think are pretty darn... there are some very brutal levels to get time attack on, and let's just say Boneyard Casino has my wrath because of it. I don't know if I'm ever going to make an outtake reel of all the fails for this, because when I looked up the routes, it didn't take me long to actually get the rest. And again, you only need 10. By the time, like if you were to take care of them in order, you will have that trophy by the end of Sunset Snake Eyes. Because once you have that, you don't need to go for the rest unless you want to go for bragging rights. And I apologize for the lack of transitions between the levels. Believe me, this one angered me so much that I don't even have the outtakes to to a rocky start because I deleted the video because of how much, again, it angered me. This level tested my patience. They say the house always wins. I didn't know that the house always wins in time attack as well. Because boy, does this one take the cake for one of the most aggravating sprints to go through, because you have a lot of floors to jump over. You have a lot of mooks to worry about, and you also have to not trigger the alarms, because if you do, that timer is going to speed up, and taking a time loss is never what you want. And if that weren't bad enough, let's talk about the ending of the stage. And by the way, no, you cannot take that one area as a shortcut. I tried, and it angered me how much no matter what I tried to get up to this area as a shortcut, I failed. Because it's not just making it to the end area, you also have to play roulette. And what is roulette in this game? Well, let's go past the dollars and cents chandeliers. We're not making like a Schoolhouse Rock song here. We're talking about betting it on 14 red. Because you have to make precarious jumps here. And as a reminder that the only run button speeds up everything. It doesn't only speed up slide, much to my dismay. But you will have 20 seconds, and you need to land on those notes, and you have to do it 3 times. Each time there gets more spotlights added, and you also have to deal with the momentum of the roulette, which is already a problem in of itself. And man, I have never felt more anger towards a roulette than that. Like, I feel less anger about the Wheel of Fortune in Balatro than I do about that. And quite literally, I don't want to boot up the mobile version of that game for a while, simply because of how much it just kept screwing me over when I was trying the Gold Stake Abandon deck. And I haven't even gone back to the PlayStation 5 version of the game either. Put simply, I didn't want to play the other decks on Gold Stake because they just weren't interesting enough. And boy, they weren't interesting enough. Now, this particular area, you remember that little sneak walk that you got? You want to use it to your full advantage here. Because being able to sneak past these spotlights, it's a blessing in disguise. Like, you don't need to worry about jumping on these air conditioners. You don't need to worry about anything else. The moment you're up there, you just jump towards the goal like so. So, now we get to 2 to Tangle. Actually, no, we're not at 2 to Tangle yet. 2 to Tangle is one of those ones where you want to save, you want to make a save state before you enter before you hit the hourglass, because guess what? You have to go through a lot of platforming should you fail the Master Thief sprint just to reach the clock again. Then again, I never really let the clock run out, so I wouldn't know what happens when you restart. You don't lose any lives for any of it, believe me. All you have to worry about is just going at it over and over and over again until you actually beat it. And some of these can get rather long. Like, I think this one might be the longest. It's this one or 2 to Tango. And not much after that. I do always like this level though. Like, even in the Master Thief sprint, like, I always like that giant sign and the climb to it. Though Mugshot, you only have yourself to blame for putting this particular crane here the way it is. Besides, what were you even using it for? And just like that, there you go. That's the... If you have gotten that trophy by that level, you do not need to... Like, you do not need to do any more of the Master Thief sprints. The rest are just for bragging rights. You do get a little bit of something, and I will allude to that once we get closer to episode 4. But, boy, are you going to be here for a while. At least with the Carmelita chase levels, it's like you're playing the level normally, only with 100% less clue bottles if you've gotten them beforehand. So, at least I can take this moment to appreciate the music and such. Most of the time when I'm recording, I have to turn down my audio setup simply because of echo and such. And yeah, you have to make yourself seen if you're willing to go over there. I don't know if you can actually take that shortcut. I've not been able to basically skip that bottom part, but it'd probably be like a large skip anyway. And even then, we're not even talking about the speedrun strats or that one glitch that lets Sly just fly and skip through levels. In fact, you've probably seen that little glitch happen twice in this Let's Play. Once in the first episode, once in the 4th. And just to think, we're almost done with this. We're going to be heading straight to episode 5 once we are all said and done. So let's wrap up this level. Let's say goodbye to Carmelita. And as she angrily shakes her fist at us, we basically have cleared another episode worth of Master Thief sprints. Now we are in episode 3, which of course contains my least favorite enemies, and if you didn't like this episode before, you are certainly not going to like doing the Master Thief sprints for it. Should you choose to go for it all and get every Master Thief hourglass and such, you are in for some nasty times, because I will just say this right now, I highly recommend you look at video guides on what routes to take. They will help you a lot and save you the headache, because simply put, they're the reason why I've gotten the Platinums in Crash 3 twice. I'm gonna probably say this right now unless I'm bored enough to get better at it. Yeah. You like that shortcut? Try this shortcut. But I'm not going to go for all Platinums in Insane Trilogy. The physics change is enough to deter me all the way from it because of how much that level, because of how much like the engine in question basically not only throw things off, but makes things much worse to go through. Like, if you ever played the original and then go to that, and then go to Insane Trilogy, the change in physics really show. So, Lair of the Beast. This is basically a level that's just chock full of shortcuts. So, if in case you struggled with the trophy here before and finally got it out of the way, at least you can take solace knowing that you can just basically skip a lot of the level if you know where to go. Because when you know where these shortcuts are, you can just skip parts. Like, skipping parts of the level just feels like a third eye in you has opened. And don't ask how I got past that spider, because well, on top of Vegas not liking how smooth this gameplay is going, despite not having problems with games like Ratchet and Clank, which by the way still isn't on PlayStation Network. I promise you, if it ever gets added to PlayStation Network and it has a trophy list, I will do an extra video on Ratchet and Clank talking about all the brand new trophies and how to earn them. because I really hope that it doesn't take until this closure of the PlayStation 3 store for Ratchet and Clank to finally get added to the PlayStation 5 store, because those games have been needing a re-release, all 4 of them on the PlayStation 2. Well, the PlayStation 3 ones as well, but if they can't really emulate PlayStation 3 on PlayStation 5, at least remaster the games. That's enough rambling as we got past the snake. We just basically beat that snake like it was Frog Jungle. And speaking of that particular game, I know that a certain friend of mine has snagged me a copy and is going to give it to me when we meet. Anywho, let's talk about a level that when you know which shortcut to take, you just basically snap this level in half. I feel that a lot of the levels in this particular episode can be broken in half by shortcuts, because they are far more broken than they normally would be. So, see that tooth right there? See where I'm going? This is very tricky to land, but if you can do it, you just basically skipped an entire section. Like, a larger section than any of the levels that came before it. And I have plenty of time to spare to get to the end. If you took the normal path, you are literally racing against the clock, but you're also, running very low on time. Like, combat is something I only do if it doesn't take that much time. But boy, do you want to know of the shortcuts ahead of time, because they're going to make your life easier. It can turn a level where you only have mere seconds to get to the end into having almost a full minute. And now we get to the level that I struggled the most with on Thievius Raccoonus. We are at Descent into Danger. I do not like this level simply because of the trophy you needed from it, where you basically had to ignore everything. I'm no tool-assisted speedrunner. I can't do the glitch where I basically go back in time, or not go back in time, where I basically squeeze past everything and break it. However, what I am doing is taking another shortcut, and this shortcut is another one that just skips an entire section, allowing me to get up here much earlier. And even then, we still have to get past these guards, which fortunately I don't have to wait until I got a trophy to basically get past. And there's going to be a part where you're going to need to let the timer run out a little bit faster for a bit. This is going to be a bit of a gambit here, but break this and the timer should resume to normal. This is one of the only times where you are going to want to get spotted and risk sacrificing a lot of time for basically a shortcut. And these perch jumps, I've been screwed over by perch jumps before, specifically ones with the blue lights where I am pressing circle, and then only for Slide to just either not recognize that I pressed circle, or for me to miss it altogether, or to just land somewhere else. And it's more prevalent in the sequels. But now, with this out of the way, we are now in China. It is time for China, and we need to basically get down to business to beat the clocks. And there's not much I could say here than just use what you learned and follow the guides you're given to make your life easier. Because think about it, like, unless you're the patient type to learn your own route, and I don't envy anyone who's able to do so, you probably don't have a lot of time on your hands unless you are, like say someone without a job, someone who's still going through any type of school and doesn't have the ability to pay for themselves. Then I hope you have enough attention span to get through all this. Man, I feel sorry for this generation. But yeah. Yeah, it also skips a cutscene for opening the door. Actually, I think it always skips that cutscene anyway. Basically, I think that's one of the few times where you actually have to wait. I did take a shortcut to basically... oh yeah, this. I think I know what I'm doing here. You only... you don't have to basically go... Yep, and it brings you up here anyway. It's one of the most silliest things ever because it lets you skip a part of the level, and and it allows you to just basically save some time and get to the end of the level in, well, record time. Just if you have things to do and you don't have as much time as you used to, then just look up guides because it will help. Like if it's a much newer game, I understand wanting to not be spoiled by things given the nature of the internet and such. But for a game like this, that's like, we are talking almost reaching its 25th anniversary. Yeah, a PlayStation 2 game turning 25. That alone should scare you how old Zillennials are getting. Yeah, I'm not kidding when I say I'm 29. I was born right on the cusp of Gen Z. Around the first year during the transitional period between millennial and Gen Z. I was just born too late to be a millennial and all that jazz. And it really depends on the guide you're looking at, but I just know for sure that I was a Gen Z raised millennial and such, so yeah. Maybe I'm just more so looking into more recent obsessions, or just finding videos to watch that can basically make the workflow of what I do a little less boring when I'm not working on a video. And I do like having the background noise to basically make things a little more interesting on my end. But that level. So now let's get to a level that will be the last one that you will do. And I didn't cut this. This is going to be the last one you'll do until you beat the game, and we're going to be cutting until we beat the game just for a Master Thief sprint that we cannot do just yet, but you'll see in the bonus episode that we have done it. So now we're in the Unseen Foe, and you actually want to be unseen here if you're going to go for the Master Thief sprint, because guess what? That sneak walk is going to come in handy because it will save your bacon from being spotted. But back to the whole generational talk and everything. It just makes me feel ancient knowing that the consoles I once knew as being new back then, guess what? They are no longer new. They are just as old as the consoles that we once considered to be old school. We're talking like a console that we once seen as 20 years old, like a Super Nintendo in the 2010s or an NES in the 2000s, are now as old. Like those consoles are no longer 10 years ago or 20 years ago. Those consoles are now 30 years ago or 40 years ago, and we're looking and now the and now the PlayStation 2 and GameCube, and even the 7th generation. Yes, the 7th generation of consoles. If you think you're getting a little bit scared of being old, I hate to tell you this, but PlayStation 3, Wii, and Xbox 360, yeah, those are turning into 20-year-old consoles too, and guess who? Don't ask how I got that. Like, seriously, don't. Yeah, that was a little bit of a hiccup there. So, the only way you can do this thief sprint is if you beat the game. Much like needing Owl Dialect to unlock a vault, which we'll get to in the bonus episode, you need Owl Dialect to get to earn the right to do this Master Thief sprint. Because the Master Thief sprints will only appear when you have cleared both the level and the vault. But because you don't have the vault cleared after this particular level, Dueling by the Dragons, you will not have the hourglass to be able to clear the vault. So if anything looks a bit incorrect by part 10, or no, part 12, the finale, that is because part 12 has been recorded far before I even did this part. In fact, there are very few things that I actually recorded this year, simply because of OBS troubles, not exactly helping with things, and other things that were going on last year. Believe me, this decade hasn't been a lot of fun, and I've been preaching to the choir when I say that. So, the best you can do is just continue to fight on as much as you can. Because, at the very least, like, when you're able to get back to something, you're really able to get back to it. And it always feels good to actually be able to get back to something you want to get back to. But boy, am I glad to finally get this Let's Play edited and hopefully uploaded soon, because I have a whole lot of videos to render now. But with that being said, we clear the Master Thief sprints, and I shall now leave you with what you get for getting every clock in the game. So, I shall bid you adieu, and I will see you with the finale to Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus.
Excellent, Sly! You've beaten all the Master Thief sprints and unlocked all the designer's commentary. Check out this fascinating behind-the-scenes movie.
How should I describe Sly Cooper? He's charismatic, suave, debonair,
cool, slick, fast, stealthy, athletic, he's a daredevil.
Sly Cooper is charming thievery.
We started with the idea that we wanted to do an action game where the primary character was a thief. The choice of a raccoon was a pretty natural fit in terms of, you know, obviously the mask being in place, being, as Dev would say, a creature of the night.
We very early on wanted to make a game that looked and felt like a cartoon, but was one step closer to realism rather than flat and graphic. We started experimenting with different ways we could bring this character to life, cell shading, how to make it feel like a cartoon but still feel like a great 3D game.
We want it to actually look like it was inked and painted, and we want the backgrounds to be really lush and have a painted look, so it looks like it's a living animated episode that you've been thrown into.
When you look at the game, initially, the first thing that draws you in is the beautiful art style and lush, very, very lush look of the environments. But when you actually play the gameplay itself is lush as well.
The original conception of the Sly character was a much more realistic raccoon, chubby and not quite as lithe as the character is now, and it kind of evolved as we went along.
Once we got to that part where he kind of evolved into what he is now, my main job was to take him and try to put every bit of thiefiness into him that I could. He was kind of tiptoeing, and he's really like rearing back to like ease his foot forward, trying to keep all his weight back so his foot falls softly on the ground, and really try to hone his personality through subtleties in the movement and really try to push the thiefiness.
As we wanted Sly to feel really agile, we wanted him to feel like Sly could do the most amazing physical feats. You want to let the player of the game feel like they're a thief. Not like a real thief, like you wish thieves were.
Sly Cooper's story is really cool. He comes from a long line of super raccoon thieves. And the source of their kind of thieving greatness is this book called the Thievius Raccoonus. It's this incredibly valuable heirloom that is stolen from Sly's family when he's very young.
He has come of age, and now he feels it's his noble duty to take back the Thievius Raccoonus.
Sly has two buddies, Bentley and Murray.
Bentley provides a lot of the plans for their missions. He does a lot of things that are very important for Sly to complete his missions. Murray has a huge case of Sly envy. He wants to be Sly in the worst possible way, and he has absolutely none of the capabilities to do it.
A hero's only as good as his villains. We wanted to create villains, making them dangerous, making them menacing, making them goofy, just giving them as much personality as Sly Cooper.
It's a super high bar being in the action-adventure category. I mean, all of the greatest games, the best games that are out there are all action-adventures.
The genre is such that you have to really excel in every single phase of the game. Going from saying Sly should be sneaky to actually having him feel sneaky in the game is hard. You have to start and you have to get the animation right, then you have to figure out how the engine's going to play the animation and how it gets affected by where he is and what he's doing and how the player can feel in control at the same time.
People are doing shoot 'em ups and things with big weapons and things like that, and this is all about character, so you can get the feeling of I am Sly and I'm sneaking around. Anytime we can exploit anything in the environment, build it in a way that as Sly's running over, it might seem more stealthy. We completely exploit that.
And our golden rule is whatever is thiefier wins.
If you want to make a game that looks different, the PS2 gives you the opportunity to do that.
As a programmer, it has a ton of tools for solving all sorts of different types of technical problems.
A big focus for us has been in getting our tool set to the point where the artists were really unconstrained.
Artists will come to us with, they want the game to look this way, or boy, can we have a line around all the characters, the cell shading that we do, or how can we do the lighting models so that things that are bright have certain colors on them. And they have a lot of really cool ideas, and I and the other people on the programming team work on trying to get the technology put in place so that we can make those ideas happen.
What we were able to do was put together our own lighting algorithm in the vector units and then do the same thing for the cell borders that we put around all our characters. We could get it to all run super fast and have it all look different than other games. That was really our goal from the start, was to have a game which looked different.
It's been an interesting process building a team to build a game like this.
It's been great working with such a dedicated group of people. I've never really ever worked with a group I think as hardcore as this.
It really does require unbelievably talented artists, unbelievably talented programmers, and unbelievably talented designers.
How you doing?
The designers, I think, have done a wonderful job of giving players the experience of sneaking and being a thief, and at the same time making the designs accessible to people so that you don't need to be a super gamer in order to play it, although there are tons of things that are in the game for those people.
We're making a game that anyone can play.
You can't just have great art. You can't just have great code. You can't just have great characters. You got to have it all.
It's not about just how the game looks, it's about how the game plays and how the player experiences it. And it's all about having fun.
You can make a really cool character, but if he's not fun to play, it's not worth doing.
Sly is cool, he's collected, he's adventurous.
Sly is Sly. It is not a misnomer.